We are counting down the top 10 most intelligent animals on Earth, ranked by their astonishing problem solving, memory, social skills, tool use, and even self-awareness. From birds that plan for the future to mammals with cultures and even language-like communication, these species challenge what we think we know about animal minds. Which creature rises above the rest? Let us begin with number 10. Ravens stash food for leaner days, but their plans run deeper than simple hiding. In studies by Thomas Bugnier and Nikki Clayton, ravens watched by another bird often return later to move their cache, outsmarting would-be thieves. Sometimes they even create fake hiding spots to mislead onlookers, a trick that shows both memory and deception. Months can pass, yet a raven will remember exactly where it left its prize, even distinguishing between real and decoy caches. This blend of long-term memory, planning for the future, and social maneuvering sets the raven apart, an expert at thinking ahead in a world where every glance might mean a stolen meal. Pigs have shown an unexpected knack for problem-solving in laboratory settings. At Purdue, researchers trained pigs to use a joystick with their snouts, steering a cursor on a computer screen toward targets. Even with a device designed for primates, awkward for a pig's anatomy, they learned the connection between their movements and the on-screen results, choosing correct targets more often than chance. This early work revealed a kind of intelligence that was easy to overlook. In classic maze studies, pigs quickly mastered routes to food and could adapt when the path changed, displaying both memory and flexibility. When raised in enriched environments with space and objects to explore, pigs solved these tasks faster and showed fewer signs of stress. Their intelligence, shaped by curiosity and emotional awareness, challenges old assumptions about livestock and highlights the importance of how they are treated. Border Collies stand out for their remarkable ability to link words with objects and actions. In controlled studies, one dog named Chaser learned the names of over 1,000 different toys, each with a unique label. Researchers tested her by asking for toys using only spoken words, often from another room, and Chaser would reliably fetch the correct item, even when dozens or hundreds were scattered about. She could also pick out a new object after hearing its name just once, showing a learning speed that rivals young children. In the field, Border Collies respond to subtle whistles and gestures, guiding sheep with precision and anticipating a handler's intent. Generations of selective breeding for cooperation and responsiveness have shaped a mind tuned to human cues and rapid learning, making the Border Collie a standout among domesticated animals for communicative intelligence. African gray parrots have shown that intelligence is not limited to mammals. In a series of controlled experiments, Irene Pepperberg worked with an African gray named Alex, using a training method where Alex observed two humans interact, sometimes making mistakes, to teach him the meaning of words. Over time, Alex learned to identify more than 50 different objects by name and could answer questions about their color, shape, or material, even when presented with new combinations he had never seen. He demonstrated an understanding of the concepts same and different across color, shape, and material, not just repeating sounds, but applying labels to abstract features. Alex could count up to 6 objects and reliably answer questions about quantity. These results, verified by independent testers, challenged the belief that parrots only mimic speech. Instead, Alex's performance revealed a symbolic grasp of language and concepts, adding a new dimension to the study of animal intelligence. Octopuses, with their soft bodies and brief lives, have developed a kind of intelligence that stands apart from any mammal or bird. In Indonesian coastal waters, the veined octopus has been seen gathering coconut shell halves, stacking them beneath its body, and carrying them across the seafloor for several meters. When danger threatens, the octopus assembles these shells into a protective shelter, showing not just tool use, but planning for future needs. In laboratory settings, octopuses learn to unscrew jars and solve puzzles after only a few trials. They adapt their tactics quickly to new challenges. One famous escape artist named Inky slipped through a tiny gap in his aquarium lid, crossed the floor, and vanished down a drain pipe that led to the sea. These feats come from a nervous system unlike any other. Most of an octopus's neurons are found in its arms, allowing independent action and very rapid learning. Though they live only a few years and show little social life, octopuses display a flexible, problem-solving mind that has evolved along a path entirely their own. In the rainforests of New Caledonia, crows have become engineers. With careful selection, they snap a twig and strip away leaves, shaping the end into a sharp hook. This hooked tool is not just for show. It slides into narrow crevices, fishing out hidden grubs that would otherwise be out of reach. In laboratory settings, crows have gone further. One notable example is Betty, a New Caledonian crow. She faced a food bucket at the bottom of a tube and a straight piece of wire. Without demonstration, she bent the wire into a hook and solved the problem on her first attempt. Other experiments set up a sequence where a crow must use one tool to retrieve another, then use the second to reach the reward. These multi-step puzzles reveal causal reasoning, where each action is planned in relation to the next. Across the island, different crow populations even craft distinct tool shapes, passing down local styles through social learning. While their social lives are simpler than those of elephants or primates, the technical skill and foresight shown by these birds place them among the most inventive minds in the animal world. Across the savannas of East Africa, elephant families move in deliberate lines, led by matriarchs whose memories stretch back decades. In Amboseli, researchers have tracked these leaders as they guide their herds to waterholes remembered from past droughts, places sometimes unseen for years, yet recalled with precision when survival depends on it. Older matriarchs, some over 50 years old, consistently make better decisions in crises, steering calves and mothers towards safety, while less experienced groups wander or falter. Playback experiments reveal that elephants recognize the voices of many individuals, responding differently to close kin, distant associates, or strangers. Their social world is mapped in sound and memory, each call carrying layers of meaning. When a member is distressed, companions gather close, offering gentle trunk touches and low rumbles, gestures of comfort that echo through the group. Families have been seen returning to the bones of lost relatives, pausing in silence, touching and lingering as if acknowledging the presence of someone remembered. These moments, grounded in decades of observation, reveal a mind shaped by memory, emotion, and deep social bonds. Orcas, or killer whales, display a kind of intelligence that stretches across generations and entire oceans. Each pod develops its own dialect, a unique set of calls cataloged by researchers like John Ford, passed down from mothers to calves, marking family identity as clearly as a surname. But their culture runs deeper than language. Along the windswept shores of Patagonia, observers have watched matriarchs lead their young through the dangerous art of beach stranding. Adult orcas approach the shallows, scanning for sea lion pups, then ride waves onto the sand to snatch their prey before wriggling back to sea. Calves practice in safer, shallow water, mimicking the sequence under the watchful eye of their mothers, who sometimes slow their movements as if demonstrating each step. In Norway's fjords, orcas work together to herd herring into tight balls, taking turns stunning fish with their tails, a coordinated dance where each whale knows its role. These hunting strategies are not instinct alone. They are taught, refined, and remembered, forming a living tradition unique to each pod. Through dialects and shared tactics, orcas reveal a scale of animal culture that rivals any on land. In shallow coastal waters, bottlenose dolphins glide in tight groups, each one known by a signature whistle, a unique vocal pattern developed early in life. These signature whistles function almost like names. When separated, a dolphin will call out another's whistle, and the recipient responds, confirming identity across distance and surf. Genetic studies have shown that dolphins remember these whistles for years, even recognizing recordings of old companions. Dolphins also display a rare form of self-awareness. In Diana Rice's mirror experiments, individuals inspected marks placed on their bodies, using their reflections to examine spots they could not otherwise see. This behavior, passing the mirror test, suggests an understanding of self that is uncommon outside great apes and elephants. Off the coast of Shark Bay, a small number of female dolphins carry marine sponges on their beaks while foraging along the seafloor. This technique, known as sponging, protects their skin from sharp rocks as they search for hidden prey. Daughters learn the skill from their mothers, passing it down through generations, a clear example of tool use and cultural transmission in the sea. These axes of intelligence, individual labels, self-recognition, and learned tool use combine to set dolphins apart, offering a glimpse into a mind shaped by complex social and ecological challenges. In the forests of West and Central Africa, chimpanzees shape their world with tools and traditions that span generations. Their actions are measured and purposeful, and the use of tools is woven into daily life. At Gualugo, researchers have documented chimpanzees selecting just the right twig, stripping leaves, and chewing the end into a brush tip before fishing for termites. Sometimes they use a heavier stick first to open the mound, and then switch to a delicate probe. These tool sets are not improvised on the spot. They are crafted and combined with remarkable precision. In Tai National Park, individuals carry chosen hammers and anvils over distances, returning to favored nut trees year after year. Youngsters watch for months and even years before mastering the full sequence. Mothers have been seen handing over tools to their offspring, slowing their own foraging so the young can practice. This rare example of teaching outside humanity shows how knowledge is passed on. These skills do not arise in isolation. They spread through social networks, with entire communities developing unique repertoires of tools and gestures. Coalition politics complicate their lives. As alliances shift, favors are traded, and individuals remember past interactions, planning their moves as carefully as their tool use. The story of chimpanzee intelligence is not just one of clever hands, but of minds shaped by culture, planning, and the bonds that tie one generation to the next. Even as we marvel at their abilities, the lessons of past research such as Project NIM remind us of the ethical responsibility we bear when studying such complex, sentient lives. Across all 10 species, one truth emerges. Intelligence is not exclusive or linear. From oceans to forests, evolution crafts minds in many forms, each shaped by survival and social bonds. These animals remind us. Complex thinking is not just human. The story of intelligence is still being written all around us,